This tutorial is going to show you how to build a custom report, very simple custom report in Tradeschool. We'll be building this report from the Apprentice module, and the purpose here is to show you how custom reporting works. A very simple example, just to get the basics down, open up a lot of doors for you so that you can get going with building your own reports. First of all, we're starting from the Apprentice module under Reports, and rather than being on the Built-in tab, we're on the Custom tab. And what we're going to do here is we're going to build a simple apprentice list, but show you how we're doing it so that you can create all kinds of different lists. There'll be another tutorial on creating a list that's a little bit more advanced, but this is the basic introduction. So here's a step-by-step procedure. First of all, you need to give the report a name, and we'll call this apprentice list. And that right there is enough to get you going with the report. So you'll do your find first, and that's very important to know. You can have a report do a find for you, but that's a little bit more advanced. Let's just keep this simple. So for instance, let's say that you wanted to show a report on all your 8th term apprentices. You could go into find mode, put in 8th term, perform the find. You have 3 records found, and now when you go to run this apprentice list, it's going to show you those 3 apprentices. So that's what the found set here is. There's also the option to show just the current record. But once you've gone into that report, you can do a find in that report as well, because you'll still be in Tradeschool. You can still go into find mode and do searches in that report. So this doesn't lock you in. It just gives you a setting to specify what records you want to look at when you run this report. So you can perform your finds here in Tradeschool and then jump right into your custom report with that found set. So we're going to go ahead and put this back on found set, and then we're going to get started with our apprentice list. So apprentice list, I'm going to copy that name because when I create my new report, it needs to be named exactly as this. Very important. I'll click view. It goes and tries to find that report, but it's not there. No problem. We just click OK. Now what we want to do is get started with designing that report. In order to design in FileMaker or Tradeschool, you need to go into what's called layout mode. To do that, you can go up to the view menu. We're in browse mode where you look at records, find mode's where you search, previews where you see a print preview, layout mode, which isn't available in the other parts of Tradeschool, but is available in the custom reporting, and this is where you do all your design work. So we'll simply click on layout mode here in the menu. To get out of layout mode, you go up to view and go browse, and now we've just exited the design mode. You can also use a button here on the right that says edit layout. It takes you also into the design mode. Once we're here, there's a new menu called layout menu. There's also an arrange menu. This is all for doing design work and moving objects around on your report. From the layout menu, we can create our brand new layout or report as it shows here. Click on that. Now, we're going to show records from our apprentice module. The layout name, remember, needs to match our custom report name. That's why I copied it before, and now I'll paste it in there. If you don't get the exact name, and be careful of spaces at the beginning or the end, then you'll always get the message saying, hey, can't find that report. Now, FileMaker tries to throw out a lot of options here to create a report automatically for you, and it'll have these wizard options that'll step you through, answer yes or no type of thing, and then build this report for you. You're going to be much better off starting with a blank report and make it exactly the way you want. So click blank report, click finish, and here's our blank white canvas all ready for you to create the report the way you want it. At this point, I'm going to click exit layout and give this a whirl, a test, by closing that, going back into Tradeschool. Here's my apprentice list, that's the layout name. And I'm going to go ahead and click view. Now I have 3 records in my found set, and when I click view, it takes me right to my custom report, which is white, but it's also showing me the 3 records that were in my found set. So everything is working perfect so far. In my custom report now, I'll go into layout mode, and let's take a look at what we got here. First of all, we've got this toolbar with all these different objects on it, and you can use all of those on your report. There's the basic square, rectangle, rounded rectangle, circle, oval type tools, align, And these come in really handy when you want to build a report that looks like a form and has got things kind of grouped and blocked out. Something that you might print out, like a single page report that's going to go before a committee or before an interview panel that's got tons of apprentice information on one particular apprentice, and you've got things kind of boxed over on the right and a column on the left and a table down the bottom right. So you will use some of these tools often. But when you're doing a simple list like we're going to be doing today, not so much. You have a text tool here, so you can click anywhere on your report and type some text. You've got a control tool, so you can do, when you're doing data entry, you can use these different pop-down menus, pop-up menus, checkboxes, and so forth. Very important to know, though, that the way trade school is set up for security reasons, you cannot do any data entry. You can't delete records, create records. You cannot set up your own interfaces for entering data. Trade School Custom is only for performing a find or displaying a report and going into preview mode. This is a security measure to keep anybody from altering data in a different context and bypassing the logic in the program, which ensures that the integrity of the data is correct. So you wouldn't want to edit sales information in a custom report that doesn't trigger under the hood the ability to post that sales and balance things out and keep track of, all the different entries that need to be made. So no editing records or data, deleting or creating records. But certainly you can still do a lot with the reporting. So then you also have a tab control here, which allows you, maybe you want to put some information on a tab. Usually you'd use this when you're doing data entry, but you could put stuff on a different tab, and then when you exit your layout and you save it, you got this little tab control here. And if you go into your FileMaker manuals and helps or books, it'll show you all the different types of controls and what they do. There's a portal tool up here which gives you the ability to put a table of related information, like you wanted to show all an apprentice's advancements. You could put all their advancements on here showing the advancement date and the pay period. We'll exit that and save it, and you'll see that we have this apprentice's advancement information, and we click from apprentice to apprentice. It updates. So right away you're probably getting an idea. Now this is not necessarily a full list or a full table. This is like a little mini table, so if you could show, like, back to again a summary type of report that's got little mini tables left and right and so forth showing related information. So that's called a portal. You have the ability to create graphs, so you can open up the graph wizard and learn how to use this in the FileMaker help to display visually how many apprentices unemployed and what terms and all that kind of thing. There's a web viewer here which you can actually embed a web page onto this web viewer so that it'll actually pull up a web page. Google Maps, you can merge their apprentice's address in here so that each apprentice you go to, it shows a map to their residence. Not very practical for that example, but shows you what the web viewer can do. Now here's the most common tool you use, which is the field tool. And anytime you place a field, it's going to be a view into the underneath data. So it wants to know what data you want to show. So if I say first name here, and I'm going to go back into there and say create a label, and then I want the last name right to the right and down below, kind of ugly, but shows you that as I click through now, I'm showing data out of those fields. And then you've got the ability to add different parts, such as a sub-summary for grouping, and leading summaries, grand summaries, and title headers, and so forth. Using those different tools is an example. Examples of using those would be something to show in a more advanced reporting. This is just going to be really simple. So the last thing I'm going to show you is there's these formatting tools up here. If you don't see them, try clicking on the little A here, and you can see for formatting text, alignment, and bold, color, and so forth. And then there's the inspector tool, and the inspector tool I need to drag over here. basically shows you all the properties for an object. And so like if you had a number field and you wanted to display that as a dollar, you'd go over to the data and you would say, I want to display that decimal as currency. If you have a date field, you can force it to display the date in a certain format, and you can align things, change the color, do all sorts of things here. So there's a lot to know about how this all works. But just to know that there's an inspector where you can change the properties of how all these different objects look and function and behave is really important. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the 3 different ways that a report can be seen. One is form view, which is how this is set up, which means that I'm going to get 1 record per page. The list view is going to repeat the body part for every record, and this is what you want for a typical report. Normally you would want the labels up here in the header area, and then you'd want the fields just below that dotted line. Don't even put them on the dotted line or they'll be considered in the header area. To be in the body part, they need to be down below that line. And then remember, in a list view, it repeats the body part for every record. So if you have a very large body area, then it's going to you're going to get about 3 records per page. But what we've done is shrunk this up now. There's a little button down here that kind of turns the little handlebars for these different report parts sideways, so you can kind of see your data there. Now I'm going to close this inspector and exit the layout, and now I'm getting my list. So you can see the body part has shrunken down, and I'm now showing all these different records. If I go into preview mode, here's how it will print. And this is a very quick example of how to do a list report. A couple other things, you can double click that body part and alternate the background color perhaps a little bit, and you can see how that looks by saving it. When you're in browse mode, you can go back into browse mode here. You can right click and you can sort the records really quickly by, say, sort ascending. You can click the sort button here or go up to the record menu and click sort here to go into the sort dialog, and you can sort by any field that's in the database. And so you've got all different sorts of options. Now that that's redone, we'll go ahead and click on our apprentice list and see our new custom report. And here's how it would print. If I click show all in here, or let's show all unarchived, and then I go ahead and click view, it's going to show all the unarchived here as well. So that's a quick tutorial on how to build a custom report and understand how custom reporting works in trade school. And I'm going to try a little sort ascending here on the name. And it doesn't sort in the custom report, but you can easily sort that from here.